Well, hello there. Welcome back to the Pit Stop Ranch. So, it is now paint day. And we want to get all of this stuff here in high build primer so that we can sand it again and then paint it again in another primer. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Last time I ran out of spray-on rust converter, I went up and this is what they had, and it isn't rust converter, it's rust reformer. I don't know. So I'm treating it like rust converter, and I'm hitting all the spots that had a little bit of rust since the bare metal after sanding or whatever, there's a burn through. So I'm spotting with this before I hit it with actual high build primer, so that any rust is any area that had a little bit of spotting, little surface rust, go over with a little bit of Scotch-Brite and then spot it with this. So, we're all familiar with the disadvantages of shooting in the back patio a paint job on a car in the form of dust and environmental debris, bugs, leaves ending up in the paint job. In between runs, you gotta hose everything off. You gotta vacuum it off. You gotta wipe it down. There's a lot more steps involved. But some of the other factors you got to think about when attempting something this interesting is it is, you know, low 60s maybe, and 75–80% humidity. But we can't paint. We can't paint until we get closer to 70 degrees and closer to 20% humidity. Those are the optimal. Doesn't have to be right on the button on those numbers. Okay. You're going to need a painting station where you're going to be having all of your materials for your painting exercise. You want to just out of the way enough that you're not tripping over it and you're not dumping crap on it, but you need it close enough to the action that you're not moving around a lot. Here's the high build we're using. Now the ratio is 4:1, and then 4 parts paint, 1 part hardener, and then up to 1 part thinner depending upon how thick you want it. We want it relatively thick, so we're going to put maybe half a part, quarter of a part, a smidge. Of course, your mixing cups and your filters. Don't use the top one because it's full of that. So I'll use the bottom one we've used before. And the all important coffee cup, because you know how else you gonna poison yourself or dip your brush somewhere it doesn't belong if you don't have an uncovered coffee cup. I'm telling you, it's the way of the world. So, we got everything wiped down, ready to go. It's just, it's 61 degrees and it's 70% humidity, which our friends to the Great White North sounds like damn near summer weather, and what are we whining and sniveling about? But this is Southern California, and this is unseasonably cool and moist. So, do we wait for those conditions, which according to the weather report aren't going to happen today, or do we just go ahead and suck up and start putting down high build primer? I have to admit, I'm at the point here that I'm ready to suck it up and just start putting down some high build primer. Okay. Yummy! So, 4 to 1. Now this could be a regular primer or this could be a high build primer depending upon how much of this you put in. And I'm going to call that good enough. Again, it's stained with acetone. So, there we go. Voila. Okay, we got everything shot. All the critical areas got 2 coats, or at least 1 heavy coat. I think everything got 2 coats. I think everything got at least 2 light coats. I think the crucial areas. A few discoveries didn't notice before, so that's fine. Again, this is the time to find it. So I think we're doing pretty good, I think. Doing pretty good. A little bit of tiger striping here and there. A couple of runs. That's not a big deal. We can take care of that. A few thin spots. That's okay. This is purpose of this stuff is to put it on and sand a lot of it off. So that, along with all the other stuff that we previously shot, and even some of it we've even started sanding. Sand it, do any residual body work that we might need to do, and then we go ahead and do the next step, which is our sealer primer before we actually shoot everything. Now, okay, everything we needed to get into high build is now in high build. The crucial areas, the areas that I was most concerned about, like the hood and the cab and the other areas that I feel like, because they're going to be immediately observable by us, the people who did the work, and going to be real nitpicky about, and any hypothetical future owners, I got nicely built up and ready to go. So that's great. A few less crucial areas, it's kind of thin. The high build is, the primer is kind of thin, but I think it's in areas that don't really need much, didn't really need it, so I'm not too worried about it. We're out of this high build primer, and I don't feel like buying another gallon just to shoot another, gun's worth. So what we're gonna do is, everything now is in high build that needs to be in high build. Now gonna sand and do any remaining little glazing body work that we notice. There's a few little craters that weren't obvious before, now just pop. So we'll take care of those. And then once everything is sanded and the last tiny little bit of body work is done, then we're going to go ahead and put it in the final sealing primer. Kind of the change in path. Whatever you put the final paint on will dramatically affect the tone of the final paint job. So if you use a black primer, you'll get a darker finish. If you use a lighter primer or a white primer, it'll just pop. It'll be real bright. So depending upon what effect you're looking to do, kind of dictates it. And after some soul searching and some consulting of people whom possibly know more than we do, almost assuredly know more than we do, because anyways, it was definitely we kind of decided to shift gears a little bit on the final sealing color, and we're going to do like a white or a really light gray like this, to so that the final color pops the way we want it to. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this latest edition of Matt Paints a Thing on the Back Patio. And if you support what we are doing here at the Pit Stop Ranch, if you would please go ahead and hit the like button, and if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe. We really appreciate it a lot. And till next time, have a thinner-tastic day.